She's talking. That's what but say thank you.
She likes to move.
Say thank you. You just, she's so awful.
Oh, okay.
Can we go get food?
Hi, Michelle.
Who's my amazing parking space? Fun. Eat. We'll have to bring in something. Or we can leave at the gate.
Linda, on that one motion where we,
But I'm sure they will.
yeah,
I don't know because it's regional,
Yeah,
but I think we should. I was talking about concession stand. Oh, yeah, the concession stand on the I know.
we upheld, but then we did something different to it too.
She hasn't. March 4th. We'll be here March 4th.
I didn't think so.
I know. It's Monday. It's Monday. Good news.
We don't have to bring into executive here. Okay. Just the public forum. So we'll, I can't tell us if resolving that.
I was able to call her, but I haven't. I guess.
Wasn't it the very first one?
So Roberta's doing it now. I just started. Library.
Suspended, suspended.
So this is like, they're just gonna discuss school board recognition and recognize the school board. And then this is child count, which is how many kids we had in attendance on December 1st. And then this is something really boring that I can't even tell you what's about. Policies that they have to read to. Do we have to stay here for the whole meeting or can we? No, we will adjourn as soon as you're done. Because we have other business to be. You know the game starts at 7:30. 7:30? I thought it was at 7. But if it's at 7:30, we'll just. Till 10 o'clock. I think oh wait, it's not okay. Yeah, I shut that. Oh, I'd shut mine off, but it's already there.
said, no way.
Yeah.
She lives in Saturn. Well, they have. Ma'am? Hey, kiddo. I'll stay here for a while. Stay in one?
Yes. I encounter these warm anyway.
Thank you.
Did once in other places.
I'll call the meeting to order at 5:32. We have a drum group, no? Okay, we'll say the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I see we have several people here to visit with the board. Shall I unplug that? First on the list. Yeah, please. Calista Baker. You would like to address the board?
She's on the agenda.
Okay. Quincy Greaves. Okay.
Do I have to use that?
Pardon me?
Do I have to use the microphone?
You should.
If it's green, they'll pick you up.
Okay. Well, actually came here from Yankton today because there's something on your agenda that's very, very important to, excuse me, important to myself, my family, and my community. And, okay, so back in June, we held a groundbreaking ceremony in Oak Creek at the school because they're getting a new school. And the reason for all of us getting together, it was community members, it was some school board members, some council members. We were all gathering to honor our community's most accomplished educator, who is Crystal Ann Nightlight. We were going to, it had been decided that the name of the new school in Oak Creek that was going to be built was going to be her namesake, it was going to be named after her. Papers were signed, I'm not exactly sure what that story is, but there was papers signed that granted permission for using her name for that. And basically the point that I'm trying to make is that after that ceremony and all of the documents were filled out, I just don't understand why now I'm hearing that the school board is denying that name change request, specifically without giving any reason or grievance for that. Especially because, I mean, like, she grew up there. She attended Oak Creek School as a kid. She grew up, became its secretary. She took on becoming a teacher's aide. She went and got her degree in teaching, went and became a teacher there. She taught there for many, many years. She got her master's in education. She became the principal. I mean, her legacy when it comes to this school is very, very extraordinary. And I just don't understand how there can be any kind of reason, any kind of sufficient reason that we would deny her that honor and that recognition that she definitely deserves. The impact that she's had on the community itself is, like I said, it's extraordinary. And she's built a legacy there that, I mean, it's going to live on forever. I mean, she's made so many changes and touched countless lives as a member of Oak Creek School. And I just think that that needs to be recognized, and I think that the members of the community feel that that needs to be recognized. And I think that she was such an important part, not only of the school, but to the community as a whole, that we, excuse me, we are so proud of her, and we would love to have that part of our community, that namesake that's attached to the school. Is basically what I'm saying. So, I ask again that this school board, at the very least, provide sufficient reason for not being able to give that to that community.
Okay, and when we discussed that, it was all done in executive session. So we are not at liberty to tell what went on in executive session.
I'm sorry, I don't agree with that at all. I don't think that that makes any sense, especially because this is a school board, and, I mean, you guys are elected officials, and we have a right to know things like that. I mean, especially whenever it's affecting our community, more so than the school board or the school district. My opinion.
Thank you. Wilda, did you want to go next?
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate to what T was saying. That is why I am here. I know all of you. I've worked alongside you for many years, as well as Crystal did. My question is why. I understand you went into executive order, but then again, I went back and reviewed policy BEC. What criteria does that action item fall to go into executive?
Do you know, Doc?
I don't have a policy right here.
Because I could not fit that criteria to any of those
Yeah.
in that executive policy. Because this woman hangs in the halls here. She's worked hard. I don't understand. When I called and I talked to Wayne, excuse me if I get emotional because I lost her 2 years yesterday. I said, my guiding light, my whole world, my whole community is suffering because we lost so much down there. And this is one of the healing things that we're looking forward to. My family was hoping we can come together and have a good thing out of all the sadness that we've experienced down there. So I don't understand, one, how you guys can take and go into executive and deny it. Two, how did that fit that executive decision to go into that criteria? Because I looked on the policy and in my mind, I can't fit it into any of those criteria for you guys to go into executive with it. Two, when I called and talked to Wayne several months ago to a few weeks ago, he never expressed to me that it was at board level. He told me it was at state. Even when I asked him, what did the state say to you? Did they reply to you? No, they didn't say anything. He did not tell me it was at board level, otherwise I would have came to you guys a long time ago. Long time ago. Right now, I feel like I'm lied to. I'm being withheld information, and it really hurts because I was a part of this family. Now I'm kind of ashamed to say I am. And it hurts my feelings that you guys went into executive and did that. Because you guys worked right alongside her. So I would like an explanation, and I would like that subject revisited.
Was there here? I didn't make that last meeting, and I was the one that recommended it because it came up every year by March 1st. We have to send in the names of our schools, and I thought that, based on the community request from the board, that I would just put it on the agenda and ask the board to approve it. And like I said, I wasn't here to discuss it with them. did go into executive session. To discuss it, you know, on the 5
Yeah,
categories.
and I couldn't find where it fit in those 5 categories to even be brought into executive.
Okay. Fine.
And it just hurts that we were under the assumption that this was being handled, taken care of, was being done, and then come find out week before the application is due, we get denied, it's not gonna go. That doesn't give us ample time to make our case. We should have been informed that maybe this wasn't an idea that you guys thought of going with, and let us know that, so that way we can all come together and come up with another plan of attack. Give us ample time, basically, because what, March 1st is Friday? And we just found out about this when? And I've been calling over here and lied to.
Yeah, they, yeah, like I said, I don't know why the board took it into executive session. You know, it has to do with budget or personnel and I can't remember what the other 3 categories were.
But to me, it feels like she got lumped in there, but it wasn't had to do with any of those items. That are the
Michelle, did you
criteria.
find it?
Well, I found the page that, I found the policy. I didn't find the policy, but I found it.
Policy. The ones that we always publish on the meeting agendas are the official from the state of South Dakota reasons are, and I think these are pretty much the same, discussing the, basically staff people. The second one is talking about students, discipline of students. The third one's talking about consulting with legal counsel.
Right, none of
Yeah.
those,
Preparing for collective bargaining and discussing marketing or pricing strategies by the school board of a business.
so which criteria did that fall under?
You're asking me?
I'm
I don't know.
asking the president.
I don't know if,
I'm asking you, Ms.
It does
Dylan.
not fall under any of those. and
So
I
then
think-
why wasn't it taken into executive then?
Excuse me a minute. I think what you said just a little bit earlier, it probably was lumped into some other things that we discussed in executive session because we felt it was important to discuss. So you are right, it does not fit into any of those 5 categories.
So then may I ask then, can that subject be revisited tonight?
I would like to hear from the rest of the people who have signed up as well, and then we'll discuss some.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
thanks.
Yes, thank you, Wilda.
Thank you.
I prepared a statement. Okay, Corinne. Are you on next? Oh,
That's
he
fine.
said next and I just
That's fine.
automatically. I come to you guys tonight with a humble heart. I was born and raised in Oak Creek, just like Crystal, just like Wilda, just like Dwayne, just like Tiny Steve, just like Maloney, just like Quincy, and just like all the other people on the list that we have given you of the signatures. Izzy?
I didn't get a copy of it, so I thought Wayne told me he was gonna give one to them, so.
I also have, can we get copies made of this for you? This is the sign-in sheet, the members of, we had a emergency community meeting Thursday evening about this. And we also,
Yeah,
I-
Wayne brought me a copy.
Wayne brought you a copy, so there is a copy of that. I'm the current cook at Oak Creek Elementary School. I cook for 38 kids. I cook them breakfast and lunch and feed them a snack every day. It's the best job I've ever had. I am here also as the vice chairman for the community of Oak Creek. Growing up in Oak Creek, there weren't a whole lot of people that we could look up to. I mean, there were, but Crystal was special to all of us, every single one of us. She was an inspiration to all of Oak Creek. She did not finish high school, but went on to get her GED. She worked as a secretary in para while getting her bachelor's degree in education. And I'm sure you're going to hear these points from more than just me. She went on to get her master's in education, all while working for Todd County School District. She would have gotten her doctorate if it had not been for health issues that ultimately led to her death. When I moved back here in the spring of '95, I was pregnant, alone, didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I was sitting at my mom's kitchen table and Crystal came to visit. She encouraged me to apply to be a substitute teacher. I went through the application process. I came in the very next day and applied. 2 days later, Beth Hogan called me and I started working for Rosebud Elementary as a substitute paraprofessional. I worked for Rosebud for another 4 years as a paraprofessional after that. I went on and did my own thing at the clinic and my burgers and stuff. And then I got a call from Barb Seichla one day. She was the secretary at the high school. She said, Crane, we need subs so bad. Go get on the sub list. So I went and got on the sub list, and Crystal and I were talking, and then along about December, Mike Berg was the vice principal then. He thought it would be imperative to start an ISS room at the high school. I started that ISS room halfway. The year that I worked at the high school to begin with doesn't even count towards my years at Todd County. But when they offered me that, I came in, I talked to Crystal. I asked her, what do you think? And she thought it was a good idea. She said, Crane, you'd be good at that. So I did that for 3 years, and I worked in the disciplinary department as an assistant to Nathan Nias. I worked in security at the high school. No matter what, Crystal would always check in on me. No matter what position I did. No matter where I was at, she'd always check in on me. Before I moved to Florida a few years ago, her and I sat down and had a really good visit. She told me she was sad that I was leaving the reservation because the 10 years that I was gone before, I only came back for funerals and weddings, and not very many people got married, is what she told me, which is true. The reason I came back from Florida was I decided I wanted to move closer to my grandson after I lost my son. So I moved here because my grandson was here. I immediately started working for Todd County School District at Oak Creek. I thought it was the best choice possible because I wanted to be like Crystal. I wanted to show the kids of Oak Creek community that people will give you something without asking for something in return. A person today told me, you know, well, there's a lot of people we could name the school after. Your mom's probably one of them. I looked at that person and I said, I guarantee you, my mom, 100%, my mom would want Crystal's name on the school if any name goes on it. Crystal showed people with her actions and her example, that she led by example. I'm almost 50 years old, and I'm sure everybody younger than I am looked up to Crystal in Oak Creek community. She wasn't just a relative. She was a person that you could look up to, you could go to for anything. You know, but she inspired me to do better. She inspired every person behind me to do better. Every person in Oak Creek community that she affected their lives. Even when she moved to Mission, she'd still show up for Christmas parties and be there for the kids because that's where she was grounded at. That's her home. And I would like you to reconsider naming the school, and I would love if we could have Crystal's name on our school. And I think Sioux Falls School District just set a precedent and named one of their new schools after Ben Rifle, so that's, you know, also you should take that into consideration as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know what I can say to top that. What I would like to say is, I want to thank you for giving us this time to talk about this and to repeat what they said. I did have a statement ready, but it's just rehashing everything everybody said already, and already talked about here. I would like to add that, not only with our school, but if any other school thinks they have someone that they would like to honor with this, that would consider their request too. And I humbly ask you for my personal statement, as Crystal is my sister, that this be done because she really does deserve this honor. Thank you.
Melanie. Hello, my name is Melanie Nightpipe, and Crystal Nightpipe is my auntie. But she's just, I mean, she's way more than just my auntie. She's not just for the Oak Creek community. You know, she's not just for the Oak Creek community kids. She's not just for her relatives. I mean, you know, she's worked for not just Todd County, but Rosebud Education as well. And generally in her heart, she was for kids. She really helped me personally also with, you know, inspiration. I mean, she gave me that encouragement. I mean, you can have the most defiant student in your school, and she was able and capable of opening them up, you know. And so I was really surprised and shocked to have heard this news, you know, such, you know, so last minute. And Wayne, I'm very surprised and disappointed in him that he's not here. I don't really understand what's going on there, but, you know, this is something that, you know, the community as a whole, but not just the community, general public. I mean, it doesn't just contain to Oak Creek community. I mean, you guys had that in the Dreamcatcher. I mean, it was public knowledge. Everybody knew about the groundbreaking ceremony, and it's not just her relatives, it's not just her family. I mean, it's people throughout the reservation. And that's something that you guys put out there as a school district, and to not have an answer, what were we supposed to do, What were we supposed to think? I mean, she worked here, I used to go to school at the high school, and I would come over here and visit her, so I'm sure there's quite a few of you that worked with her. So, as Gizzy pointed out earlier, if you guys didn't have any reason to take it into executive session, are we allowed a explanation since it got denied now?
Are you asking or are
Yeah.
you still?
Yeah, no, I'm asking. Since there really was no reasoning for it to be into an executive session, are we able to get an answer as to why it got denied?
I would think you deserve to get an answer as to why
I
it
couldn't-
is denied. First of all, at the groundbreaking, I was there that day, and I was caught off guard when, and we can't mention names, that's why we go into executive session.
Yes.
That's why a person who was there and said that it was going to be called Crystal Night Prep School, I thought, that's never come to the board. We knew nothing about it. And up until just recently, nobody has brought it to the board. One of the reasons that we decided that it was not, that we would not be going along with it was because all of our other schools are named after the communities, the whole community, rather than any specific person. We all agreed that it would be a good idea to dedicate our library at Oak Creek and/or our gymnasium.
Okay,
to Crystal.
yeah, I understand that, but the gym, the library is already named after Paula Starboy.
Oh,
And
sorry,
there's a
that was-
playground down there named after Lloyd Buckman. So I don't know, I mean, they literally have,
James Miller, Jim.
after Mr. Miller.
I was not aware of any of that. Were you?
And another thing also is, Gizzy Will Dow actually called a few times questioning this, and I'm not sure exactly who you spoke with. Wayne, of course, and he's not here, was told that everything was okay and it was gonna go through, unless this would have been addressed a long time ago, like Gizzy stated earlier, And, we did hold a, meeting Thursday, emergency meeting for our community, and, a lot of people did want to come. I'm sure if, it was out there actually put in public, there probably would have been a lot more support, other than just, us. But it was kind of a last minute, and, we did try to go around, there was a lot of people upset, there was a lot of people who are not, and especially we couldn't give them an answer, we didn't have an answer, we don't know. As far as we knew, everything was okay. So we're kind of really getting blindsided by this. And it's not just the community, it's, I'm sure it's not public knowledge yet, but it will be soon. When a school is finished, so as far as it not being brought to the agenda or coming to a community board meeting, is that the only reasoning of why? You guys are not passing it or don't want to sign it?
No, that's not the only reason. The main reason is because how many other schools are
can understand that, but, you know, the difference with this one is it's a new school being built, you know? It's not just the building that's been there for years, you know, it's actually a new groundbreaking, you know, like it was in a paper. It's a new groundbreaking for new beginnings. And like I said, you know, she inspired a lot of people throughout the whole reservation, from elders, from, you know, friends, colleagues, to people she didn't even know, you know, she just automatically had that in her. So I don't really understand, like, why it's a bad thing to do this. Or like what the buildup is, or what the actual reasoning of it for is, you know, we just kind of really want to answer. Instead of kind of getting thrown, you know, for loops, we actually just want like a, we were sitting there thinking, okay, did it have something to do with the process of the state? Maybe, you know, you guys didn't want to have to get into, but I don't think that's
doing
it.
the second reading on community-home school relations. I meant, isn't that what we're all trying to go towards? Isn't that what we're all trying to do, is come together as a school, as a community, as tribal members? I mean, I understand you guys not wanting to open a can of worms, but also we need to let our kids know that it's home to them, it's named after them, they belong somewhere. It's personalized for them. Makes them feel like it belongs to them. Because those are all her grandkids down there. Those are all her great-grandkids down there. Myself and Diane are the last two people that worked at that school for over 13 years. Everybody else died of cancer. Steve, Velma, Crystal.
Yeah, you know, there was quite a, and personally, you know, I'm still younger, but whenever you know, she was the principal. She was my 8th grade teacher. She wasn't my auntie at school. She was my teacher. And myself personally, academics was a challenge for me. And she made it to where a way I can understand. So the way that the school was run in the past, when I was going to school there, it was completely different. It was completely different. Now I'm grown, you know, adult. I have children of my own attending Oak Creek Elementary, and I mean, it's really, really hard, you know. I mean, it's so, I'm not sure what's going on or what, but I mean, even to as far as the schoolyard being taken care of, you know. And I mean, you know, if something's not broke, don't fix it. You know, I don't really understand why it changed so much. And you know, like, you know, I'm not older, you know, and I have little guys going there, little ones going there, and I mean, for me personally, not because of my relatives, not because of any relations, but for my own children, I wish that they were able to be in that type of environment that I had when I was going to school there. And it's like, now, where do I take my children? You know, where am I supposed to put them in school at? The new elementary? But that one is so overpopulated, but they have so much more academics going on down there, you know, over here in Mission, than what Oak Creek's allowed, or what's happening down there. And so personally, you know, it's just like, maybe if the school has that name change, people will start trying to, you know, stand to that legacy that she left behind, or those standards that she, be the type of person she was as an individual. And it wasn't just during school hours, you know, it was if kids needed help on a weekend, she would help them. I mean, it didn't matter. But I'm like really, I just don't understand what the big deal is of why, you know, it's a new school. Of why? Why can't it be Kristen like that? Other than other schools, you know, other than that kind of an answer, other than the schools are going to want to change their names too. And I do understand that, but if a new school is being built, you know, shouldn't we have that opportunity to change it also from the old school? But another question, well, my main question is, would we be able to have an answer at the end of this meeting? If it's to stay the same, or if it's to, if you guys might want to do, yeah, re-vote on it.
I would say a few things here. First, the immediacy of it was caused by the state sending out this form we had to fill out for our attendance centers, what their names were. And maybe I made a bad presumption that it was going to be named or picked to be called Crystal Night Private Elementary. So I went ahead and filled out the state form, which I said was, I just got it maybe 3 weeks ago, so I filled it out, put it on the agenda, and then submitted it to the board, and basically asked them if they would change the name. And like I said, I missed the meeting, and I thought a lot of this had already taken place, the discussions and stuff. I don't know if it did or not with me. So, but, yeah.
So would that be
Sorry.
something that we can maybe re-vote on or reconsider tonight at this meeting? So we can kind of, also, he would like to speak, but he didn't get a chance to sign up on your sheet.
Yeah.
So
Real quick, I do want to mention that this name change was brought up at a board meeting at Oak Creek Elementary. Sadly, it was also the day or two after Velma died. So you didn't have as many community members come forward that night. We did discuss it, changing the name. And the community has actually had 3 different meetings where they have voted on this. And overwhelmingly, except for those who are not voting, we've never even had a nay vote in the community, just so you know. We've had 3 meetings on this already. So I just needed to put that in there. Go ahead, Jim.
thank you guys for your time, for allowing my family to be here and voice concerns. I can just reiterate what everybody else has said. Some concerns of mine. We come here to get an answer as to why things have changed and we're greeted with blank faces. There's a pause where nobody can locate the policy. This is a school board. It's an environment that Crystal has committed a long portion of her life to the school district, to creating this environment. I think aside from what it means to our family, it should also be meaningful to everybody that has had a chance to work alongside Crystal and see her work ethic and see how involved in her students' lives, in the community's lives that she was. This is about a legacy, not just our family's legacy, not just Oak Creek community, a member of that community's legacy, but a legacy of somebody that dedicated their adult life to creating an environment for this school district, to allow students to come in, to feel welcome, to feel like it is theirs. Because this has been publicized, it's almost an embarrassment to be standing here and having to voice our concerns to you guys. If anybody had to look Crystal in the eye tomorrow, how would you feel? What would you explain to her? What would you say to her? It's disgraceful to come to this type of establishment and to be told, oh, I don't know. Oh, it was an executive session. Oh, somebody locate the policy. We're greeted with blank stares, and we're at a prestigious school district. We should have processes in place to where if something, I understand that this was not brought to the school board's attention. I understand that. But what process is in place for this to happen? To allow school board members to go to a groundbreaking ceremony that's being publicized, that it's going to be named after somebody, and for everybody to stand there and be part of that groundbreaking ceremony is almost standing in agreement. Nobody said to any family member or any other school board member, when was this addressed? When was this brought to the school board meeting? So for us to be standing here now to be given a notice a week ago is disgraceful. And shame on everybody here that thinks otherwise, because this is somebody that dedicated a long portion of their adult life to create and foster this environment alongside a lot of you people. that I know you have worked with her. Shame, shame, shame is all that I can think of because of the type of person that Crystal was. And I know that all of you know that she was the definition of an educator. She encouraged so many students to just get the bare minimum high school education. If you look at the statistics for freshmen entering this high school and the rate that they graduate at, those numbers are to be frowned upon because it is not something to be proud of by any means. There were over 274 freshmen when I was a freshman here, and I graduated with less than 50. She would encourage the most, to her point, the worst children that could be in a classroom. She would foster them and get them to be the bare minimum, or they would be just another statistic for this reservation, this community. It's disgraceful to be standing here and having to voice our concerns as a family and as a community when all of you see the type of person that she was and how much she cared about this school district, that community, and the students that came from any community to go to school here. Todd County School District is something that I am proud of to be a part of as a former alumni, but also to be a student that going to a school that she was a principal at and knowing the environment that she created, not just for staff, but for students. That should be a standard at every school. Every student should be able to say an educator touched their lives in that way. Thank you for your time.
Mrs. Nesby? Pardon me, I'll let you guys discuss first.
I have something I would like to add, if that's okay. I'm listening to everything going on, and the thing that I keep coming back to is something that you said, was how each community's school is named after its community, and to me, that is, I don't know, it's really kind of like the biggest disservice you could kind of like group that into, because Oak Creek Community School and Crystal and Night Pipe are, they're not ordinary, they're not one of a group. She was, excuse me, sorry, it's hard. She was such a pillar in that, not just the community, but especially the school, and it just doesn't make any sense to me to compare that to any other thing because it's not comparable. It's not even in the same league. My Auntie Crystal in that school, I mean, I can't think about one without thinking about the other. And it's really hard for me to accept the fact that there's a chance that the things that she accomplished for that school, for her students, for the community, is going to get left in the wind. And I feel like the main way that we can honor that and keep that mentality and that drive going forward in time, I think that there's nothing that could accomplish that more than naming that school after her. And I feel like it's almost like a personal attack on the community and on my family and on her, and it's so much more than just saying, like, I can't describe to you with words what it means to my family and my community, and it's not fair to me to compare that to other schools and other names and other communities, because it stands alone, and there's no comparison. And I just wanted you to feel, to hear that and understand that I don't know, it's a hurtful thing to think about, and I just wanted to voice that. So thank you.
Sandra, I'm not on the list, but could I just add something to them, to their discussion? my husband and I saw the article in the Dreamcatcher about the groundbreaking at Oak Creek. And when I told him that they were planning on renaming the school, because I believe it was mentioned in there, after Crystal, not in the Dreamcatcher. Oh, we saw it somewhere. It was, I believe it was in the Dreamcatcher, because I don't know where else we would have seen it. But I told my husband, I was like, oh, they're gonna name the new building at Oak Creek after Crystal Night Pipe. My husband grew up in this community. He went to school at Klein. He did basketball and different activities with Oak Creek community. And he said that would be amazing. She was an amazing person. So just saying, like, I just felt like I needed to add that because being from a different school in the district, which by the way is named Klein, my kids go to Klein School, and I don't know how that relates to our community, because as far as I know, it was not Klein community. So I just wanted to put that in there for them because as somebody that's not involved with Oak Creek schools, personally, I don't see where any other community members would be upset about a new building being named for somebody that had that much of an impact. Just wanted to add that.
Okay, thank you, Heather. Yes, ma'am.
Can I just make one more little point? Sure. You did say that it would open up a can of worms in Izzy's words, while other schools wanting to change their names. What's so wrong with that? Why don't we offer our other schools to name something after somebody who's done so much for their community and for the school district?
That's a thought.
I mean, really, if the community agrees to it, it's the communities that we serve. I mean, there's really, you know, it's chief, right? Thank you.
Linda, you said that the library is named after who?
The library is named after Paulette Starboy Nightpipe. And then
I wasn't aware of that.
the playground is named after Lloyd Ivan Buckman. And the gym is Miller Gym. His family actually came from out west when that gym was named.
Thank you. I didn't know any of that. Okay,
And I do have to mention that this is information that Wayne had on, I don't have my phone on me, but, he had it last week at the community meeting. Last Thursday night when we had our community meeting, Wayne knew that these things were named. He also contacted me Friday morning at the school, and I even took a picture of the plaque that says Miller Hall, dedicated 1973, something like that, and sent it to him. He was talking with Monica Ron. They were trying to figure out if Wilbur Miller was an employee. They eventually did find out that in the 50s, his wife was also an employee of Oak Creek School. So,
My mother was a student there when that.
Wayne gave me the information after he got it from you, and he brought it in and showed it to me. I didn't know that either. So. And I worked here for 17 years before that. I remember that. I've seen that plaque in the gym, but
there used to be a picture with it, his eyes would follow you.
Yeah. Okay, I think what we need to do now is revisit. We've gotten a lot of information from you people, some of which I was not aware of at all. But I think we need to continue on with our meeting, and at the end, then we will revisit the whole situation, and we'll have Todd Gordo get back to you tomorrow. That sounds like a plan?
Yes, it does. Sounds real good to me.
Yeah.
Because, if it goes in favor, I hope it goes, we'll,
the community thought it was settled, we really did. Otherwise, like Lola said, we would have been here sooner. We did not know it hadn't gone to the board yet, and
I would have been here, so you
Just-
guys were sworn in.
just baffled.
The family would have been.
Really, we are.
I would have held the Bible for you, swear you in and to you.
Also, if this does not go through, what message does that communicate to any current employee that is dedicating their life to the school district, or any teacher that goes above and beyond the minimum standard for any position that can be held within Todd County School District? I think that this should be an honor and something to look forward for somebody who does not have a high school education but can get a GED and prove that they can be successful. It's a beacon of hope in such a dark place. This reservation needs some light.
I think a lot of mis or non-communication is at the bottom of this whole thing. And that's why I say, I think we need to revisit now that we have information that we didn't have before.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you all for coming.
Okay, everybody good, we'll give Doc Porter your digits so he can call us all individually.
I ain't gonna call everybody. I could, though. Put the numbers on there? I'll just put the numbers on there.
Yeah.
Just put your, hell, Dwayne, how you doing? Just put your number in there. Right there. Just write it in there. How many you got? How you doing? Yeah. Just put your number on there. Hmm? Yeah.
Thank you.
We added you down there. So just put your number down there.
Do you know where we lead it?
Write in English now.
Yeah.
Write my number on here so you can call me.
I'll call you for, then you can
All right.
get the word out. Okay. I still got your number.
Okay. Thank you, Doc.
Yeah.
Oh, and I don't know how this actually started.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. With the past superintendent. So,
Yeah, I don't.
thank you for listening.
She's trying to shake your
Oh, sorry. Was not paying attention to us. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're really
Yeah.
It's like what?
Thank you for standing up.
No, she said
The meeting.
board meeting.
I didn't know that.
I don't remember going to a board meeting that was ever brought up.
At Oakland.
I went to Oak Creek meeting, but it was about the new school, but they didn't talk about cognitive.
Thank you.
No bragging.
Hey, Mrs. Heskey.
I just had a question about, I wanted to ask you about the calendar. There are several in-service days that are way more than what we've had. The number of student days has went backwards. Our time every day, we're missing, we changed the time of the school day so that 40 minutes every day we're missing with those students. And they're missing out. You know, these are my kids. They might not be my biological kids, but these are my kids. And I just feel that we are taking so much away from them. We've got way too many in-service days that we could be spending with our students. I'm asking that we wait to look this over again, and instead of so many in-service days, let's have those days with our students. They deserve that.
Can I address that? There's not more in-service days, I keep telling people, than there is this year. There's 4 days on the end of the year are makeup days, or snow days. similar to this year's calendar, so if we don't use snow days, then the staff will work. And there's 4 of them, and that's why you think there's more staff in-service days than there is, but there isn't.
But in those 4 days, can't we have our students with us? I mean, our reason we're all here is for the students. This is really their school district. And I just feel there's just so much taken away from them anymore. And then this year we got to have L&I off, which I was so respect that. Because L&I is not just sports anymore. There is so much greatness going on up there. Our kids are getting seen, like the art, some of the art that I've seen just like takes your breath away from our students. And L&I is not off on this calendar. L&I is December 11th through the 14th.
No.
That's what they have up on the calendar. I looked it up.
I don't have it, but I got the dates from Chuck Wilson, athletic director, and they moved it back a week.
They did, but because it's
Yeah.
on the, I looked it up and everything said on the internet, everything for the Foundation, it said was the 11th to the 14th. So I hope they did that.
Unless they
It's out
changed,
there right
unless
now.
they changed it since I talked to Chuck. He sent me the schedules and everything, so.
Yeah,
But
I mean, if
I didn't bring all the stuff.
yeah, I just looked up the date.
Yeah.
I put it, typed in L&I and every site, whatever.
Well, you misinformed me then, if that's true.
So, I mean, and that may be, they may have changed it
Yeah.
back, but if they didn't, and it is the 11th to the 14th, I would really like to look at that.
Well, then I'll ask the board to amend the calendar.
I'm just really concerned about our students not getting enough time, and our teachers getting enough time with the students.
You talked about missing 40 minutes. When did that change?
Okay, we used to get out at actually 20 to 4. I've been in the school district almost 17 years, and now it's 3 o'clock dismissal. So there's 40 minutes of every single day that our students are missing.
Yeah, I don't know when that started. So.
Yeah, about 2.5, 3 years ago, which I honestly wasn't a fan of that, because being a teacher and trying to get everything in, especially with all the new curriculum that we have, is extremely challenging, and especially when you're teaching more than 1 grade. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there a motion to adopt the agenda? Move. Moved by Linda. Seconded by Deb. All in favor?
Yes.
School Board Recognition Week.
I need to explain to you why Chad's gone.
Okay.
He had every year, or every 2 years after an election, the federal election, the National Association of Federal Impact Schools has representatives from the states where there's newly elected congressmen come in and meet with them to inform them about what Impact Aid's about, because many of them don't know. And they usually have it in February, about this time of the month. And so he's went in there from South Dakota. There were supposed to be 3 of them, and now they're only down to 2, I think, that are going in from South Dakota to meet with. What's the representative's name? Anybody know? You guys are good. I didn't know who it was. I had to ask Mr. Brodsky. Who is this? Dusty Johnson. So anyway, he's going in to meet with them to explain and all of the new congressmen that have Impact Aid in their states. Somebody from their states coming in, and they're going to kind of put them through orientation tomorrow with the staff that are there, and then they're going to go out and meet with the congressmen and inform them and give them data and stuff about Impact Aid. So that's where Chad is. And his flight was at 6 o'clock, and I didn't want him out on the road, so I told him to leave.
Yep.
That's why he's not here.
Okay. The high school did our goodies for us for school board appreciation.
Yeah, and I have some other things here for you that I sent down from some certificates that the Associated School Board sent down for the board members, and I didn't like them. So I had Phyllis remake them so that they look a little bit better. So I want to give these to the board members, and like I said, Mr. Hammer brought some goodies over to you from the high school. So I'm going to give you all one of these, and then Phyllis wants to take your picture. And I also have from the meeting class at Rosebud,
Wow.
one of these for each one of the board members. So. And we have some, the students that made them got some notes here too, so I don't know how I'm going to do this. But. What? Oh, okay.
I just wanted to say girls basketball first round right now
Yeah.
after
We know that.
See you.
7:30, so.
Thanks. See you
See
there.
ya.
Do they have names on it?
No. I don't think so. Nope. That's what you give, I guess.
Oh, so look at these notes here too.
Those are written by the kids that made these.
Yeah. And you can just take these and look at them and pass them around. That's the notes from the kids. So. And I told them when the information came down from the state end of January, I put word out to all the administrators to have their, I guess the official week was last week, from the 18th to honor the board members. So this is what.
Nice. Very nice. Yes.
Just wait, take.
Sure. Would they be happier than?
Sure, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
All right.
Shelley will come in here by then.
Thank you.
That's okay. Onward then to 5.2, December 1st child counts report. All got that in
Yeah,
our
if you look in your
packets.
packet, there's, and Ms. Galbraith's here, and she can talk to this. I don't know, you got copies of it? The last three here, I'll just take mine. I included for them the last three copies of the December count, so they can,
Our official count every year is December 1st. So, we run the count on Infinite Campus, or the state doesn't, then they compare it. So this is what our official count is for December 1st. And then Dr. Bordeaux wanted to do the last couple of years so you could kind of get an idea. So I went back 2 more years. And last year we had a few more students with 373, as you can see. And then the year before that, 347. So there's usually a collection rate. And it seems to be almost like a 3-year cycle since I've been in this position. I have no explanation as to why. But this year, the projections were close to 100 at the high school, and it was closer to like 65. No idea why. So I'm like, where are they? I don't know. So sometimes they just fluctuate. That, you know, kids are lucky there because they have a lot of service providers over there. Then their caseloads are small, so hopefully they're all doing well in their classes and getting their grades they need for their credits. Any questions about it? So they do one in September for the initial child count. This is the official one for the state. And then the state, of course, sends it out, so. And then it's broken down into the different categories that we have for the number of students in each category.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next is second reading of School Board Policy, Section K. Discussion. I have my handy dandy list here.
Got 'em?
Yep.
all right.
I'll sit down with Penny and go over the corrections or increases. Okay. Anything else anybody has on those policies?
This was when Wilda was talking earlier, she was talking about one of these policies in this section of school community relations. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the ones that say above, the school improvement councils, what are we doing with those? Anything?
Well, I think eventually on Friday morning, last week, they had this session with the Title I people, talking about the process we have to go through next year for Title I and the schools being designated as need of assistance, I think it's called now. And I had Mr. Senny come and sit in on the meeting, and Ms. Dillon was there. And I think what we're going to have to do is, and I gave a copy of these to Mr. Senny and said, it seems to me that we have a lot of these different school community meetings set up. In Title I that morning, they were talking about setting up some other ones. So we're going to end up trying to mesh them all so we don't have so many different committees or what is titled the youth community involvement and these different type of boards and committees and try to mesh them together. Because there is community, I don't even know what they call it, is there a community work group committee and there's several other ones at the different schools. So. But that's what I think we're going to have to eventually amend these again. Once we have, let's get back together with Ron City and talk about what the chapter, or the Title I people have told us. Committees on there that they had talked about having one at each school, and again having another one at each district-wide. And in these policies, we actually talk about that, but we're calling them something different. And our Title I's calling them something different. So we need to mesh those all up. So.
I do have a copy of all of the info I got last Friday. If anybody wants to make a copy of it, you're welcome to. I can make copies for everybody, but
Maybe when you come in to see Penny,
yeah.
bring those in.
Sure.
Because I gave some of mine to Mr. Cindy. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to have a copy too.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Or can we get them
ask him.
scanned and,
What?
get them scanned and emailed out?
Want her to scan them and email them out?
Okay.
Save some trees.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Calista, you are on. Huh? Calista. Calista? How do you, say your name for me, please?
Callista.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for putting me on your agenda, for starters. Jeez. Ooh, okay. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. So, I am requesting requesting money for a college visit to the University of Notre Dame and St. Mary's College over in South Bend, Indiana. I have applied to both schools, and I have not heard back from Notre Dame yet, but I have been accepted to St. Mary's with a $86,000 scholarship that will be awarded at $24,000 per year, which is half of their yearly tuition. It's called their Presidential Scholarship for Academic Excellence. And because of getting this scholarship, I have been invited to a dinner for March 24th. And I would like to visit over there before I decide if I want to go there or not. Plus I have a wonderful music program. So if I were to go to local at St. Mary's, I would be included in all the perks that a Notre Dame student gets. So I would be able to play in all of their pep bands and their marching bands and whatever it is that I would like to sign up for. Yeah.
We have, the board has a copy of your letter here.
Yeah.
And you're requesting 500? I'll move to
I'll second.
donate 500.
Well, I seconded it already.
500,
Yep.
moved by Linda, seconded by Michelle. All in favor?
Yes.
And I want to apologize for making you stay so long before you.
She's only worried about getting to the game.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
She's the
Yeah.
manager for the basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So she wants to be with
I know, yep.
And I told her if she was not brought up before then, she could leave and I would speak for her, but I wasn't going to speak for her otherwise.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
You're doing well, girl.
We're pretty proud of her.
Yep, and rightfully so.
Thank you. It's back way easy.
Okay, onward to 6.2, the consent agenda. Anybody want to pull anything out?
We need to pull the minutes.
A2. Yeah.
Yeah, A2.
So doesn't
February
seem to
13th.
be what
The 11th,
The 13th.
13th,
13th,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay. Anything else?
I just want to say something about JOM. We have, I turned some of those duties over to Wayne Frederick, and he's having a hard time finding information that Jennifer had done anything on it, so he's been working with Shelley pretty much over at the BIA office to try to get that straightened out on some. We owe some reports, I think. So he's trying to, but there's not very many records here, so.
Okay.
What do they do with the files that people leave when they leave those positions? Because I had a bunch of files that are, toss them or what?
I don't know. Put them in the White House back here.
Probably.
Guys tell me.
Probably.
Okay, is there?
The other thing I want to point out, sorry, on E, authorize administration to bid for new district-wide VHF digital radio systems. All our radios in our buses are all antiques, and our radio towers are all antiques, so. But when I was looking at the proposal in here, I don't see a budget amount in there. Unless you guys have one on yours, but my copy, I didn't.
I looked at it, but I don't remember seeing.
There was a list of, what we needed to get, like a main tower, and
Yeah, there's no dollar
I
amount.
think there's like 100 radios or something listed
Yep.
on there. You gotta replace all the Suburbans and all the buses and all the,
100 radios, 8 bases, and
Yeah.
repeater.
Yeah, there's
most of the
no
schools,
amount.
like, I got one of the bases in the office. They have one down there, I think, E-Dogs and Rosebud, Spring Creek. I don't know where the other bases are, but that's what those are, so.
know, they're really old. They're really old. That was when I was there.
But leave it in as is.
Yeah,
Okay.
and when we get the amount, I don't know. I'll get over to Chad, or when he comes back, visiting Dusty.
Okay, do you have anything else, Dr. Bowen?
No, sorry.
Okay. Just thought I'd check.
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Shelley. Seconded by Deb. All in favor?
Yes.
All right, on to the school calendar. 6.3.
I'll move.
Moved by Shelley,
A second.
seconded by Linda. Is there, all in favor?
Yes.
7.1, reestablish or amend administrative positions.
I think we need to go into executive session on those, so
Okay.
Okay.
we can talk about
Okay. Administrative contract renewals,
those. See,
that too?
yeah. We're tied together. So.
Okay, 7.1 and 7.2 in exec. Onward to 8.1, next regular board meeting is Monday, March 11th.
Are you gonna do 7-3?
7-3?
What's,
Oh.
okay.
Sorry.
Mark 8.
Sorry.
I missed it too. So.
That contract retirement, Ruth Crowe. Is there a motion to recommend to accept?
Is there a reason?
She is critically ill, and so is her husband.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. I move then.
I'll second.
Moved by Linda. I'll second. Seconded by Michelle. All in favor?
Yes.
And that is with liquid.
Waived, yeah.
Liquidated damages waived.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then the next board meeting is Monday, March 11th, here in the Curriculum Center. And let's take a 5-minute break or whatever.
Yeah. Picture time.
Oh, yeah, if you want to do pictures before we're going to executive.
Next time I'm gonna take a professional.
You
Went
said.
to the bathroom.
I did.
There's Kate. I forgot about the cake.
Yeah, hey, everybody left.
For the school board, yeah. I'll eat some. Yeah, this is what Wayne brought me.
Thank you.
Library is named after Paulette Stark.
Oh, that's
Take a picture of that too.
Nice, yes.
The gym is named after Wilbur Miller. Miller taught in 1953 to 1954.
I was not aware of any of that.
You know that? His wife was principal in 1960 and 61.
Were you?
Edith Miller.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar. Okay.
No.